Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the program. As I mentioned before we went to the break, we have some special athletes here with us on the set. They will be going to the AAU Junior Olympics in July, representing our area in Taekwondo. First, to my immediate left is their coach, Al Abair. To Al's left is Alexa Jervis. Excuse me, Alexa. Couldn't get your last name right during the break, and now it's the first name. So Alexa, to his left, Ricky Vargas. To Alexa's left, and finally down at the end is Caden Burgard. Thank you guys for all coming up, and some special things going on, Al. You guys are going to be representing our area in Houston a little bit later on in Taekwondo. Before we start everything, and just for the viewer and for me, when we talk about martial arts and we talk about Taekwondo, and we know that what is the difference, say, in the discipline of Taekwondo, maybe as compared to some of the other martial arts?
Taekwondo is a Korean martial arts. It started in Korea. Its roots started about 2,000 years ago. What Taekwondo did was it split off into two different groups originally. And ITF and WTF, what we perform and what we practice is World Taekwondo Federation. Which is Olympic sparring. It is a little bit different from like the Karate Kid, the old Karate Kid tournament, where it's point fighting, 1 point, and they stop it, and the first 1 to 3 wins. We actually do continuous fighting, which is very similar to Olympic style boxing. You have judges on the outside, and they're electronically tabbing the points. End of each round, they sum up the points. One thing that's actually cool is the scoreboard shows us the time allowed, who scored what, so you're able to know if you have to press or if you have to defend. So the main thing is Korean martial arts. It's softer than karate because karate is a hard style. It's very Japanese, and it's harder than kung fu because kung fu comes from China because Korea was right in the middle. So it's
very good, very good. You obviously have your school here in Homa Martial Arts, which is behind Griffin's. We were talking about that at the break. But y'all also, I don't know if the word is incorporated, but y'all also have a partnership with a school in Thibodeau, right?
Yes, sir. We all under the blanket of Pan Am Martial Arts, but 2 of our schools compete nationally, and it's us and Thibodeau Taekwondo at Peltier Park.
Very good.
And when we went to the qualifier in May, there was 8 of us, and everyone qualified. And it was a combination of kids from Thibodeau and Homa.
Well, we have Alexa, Ricky, and Caden here. Are they the 3 that will be representing your schools only, or are they here representing some other kids that are going? They
are representing some other kids. We actually have Ty Verrett, who is the most senior. He is a 2nd degree. He is going to be 16 years old. He's actually on the bubble. He's on the bubble he competes locally in the men's category and then nationally in the kids category, unless they don't have enough juniors to fight him.
Do juniors peak out at 17 years old, is that correct?
Yes, sir. It peaks out at 17. Some tournaments peak out at 18. It all depends on what tournament you go to, which is tough because sometimes you'll have 15-year-olds fighting 18-year-olds, which is a big gap in that age, especially for guys.
Correct.
Depending on who had their growth spurt when,
Right, right. You want to mention any others before I get to these?
Yes, sir, please. We also have Gage Vargas, Mr. Ricky's younger brother that we nicknamed Dragon because he's ferocious, but he's also being represented by these.
Very good, very good. Alexa, first we're going to start with you. Your age?
13.
And the school you go to?
Homa Martial Arts.
Homa Martial Arts, but as far as like school in the area, like regular school?
Raceland Middle School.
Raceland Middle School. And how long have you been involved with Taekwondo?
2 years.
2 years. Is it something that you can see you're going to be doing all the way through till you're 17? This is something that you're really interested in? Very good, very good. Ricky, same thing. Your age?
12, sir.
And your school?
Homa Martial Arts.
How about we do this? We know y'all all go to Homa Martial Arts, or I'm assuming that they all do, but your regular school that you go to?
Raceland Middle School, sir.
Raceland Middle School, very good. And you've been involved with Taekwondo about how long?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. And finally, we'll go to Caden on the end. Caden, your age?
10, sir.
And your school that you go to?
St. Francis.
St. Francis here in Homa. You've been involved with Taekwondo how long?
For about 2.5 years, sir.
2.5 years. Have all of y'all, and I'm just throwing this in general, have all of you competed on something at this level? Is this the highest level y'all been to, or did y'all go to Junior Olympics last year?
I went to Junior Olympics last year, sir.
Do you think in your situation, Ricky, that you're going to be better prepared for what's coming up this year because you went last year? You understand things a little bit better along
Yes,
the
sir.
way? Alexa, did
Yeah.
you compete last year?
No, sir.
So this is your first time? And how about you, Caden?
No, sir.
First time?
Yes, sir.
Now, how do the kids qualify exactly to get to this point?
They have two national tournaments, Junior Olympics and Nationals, what they call Nationals. Junior Olympics only is advanced, so red belt and above. And so that's the Junior Olympics. Nationals goes from white belt up. The Junior Olympics is, of course, more prestigious because they only allow the advanced belts and black belts to fight it. So that's what we pretty much stay around. Also, the thing we look at is the distance, because what I did is I formed a nonprofit organization to raise money to help these kids and their parents get to the tournaments, because it's expensive. I mean,
Correct.
especially nowadays. I mean, gas being expensive. So we try to find tournaments that are close. So since there's two national tournaments, one year we might hit nationals, which means that we can bring different colored belts. It's the same qualifiers to go to nationals or Junior Olympics, but we try to hit the national tournament that's closer to us. Last year was New Orleans, was where Ricky competed, and also his brother. This year is Houston for Junior Olympics. Next year, Junior Olympics is in Detroit, so we don't think we're going to Detroit.
Right, a little far.
We're hoping, normally they do a north and a south, like since they're going to go ahead and put Junior Olympics in the north, they're normally going to put nationals like in Orlando or somewhere it's, drivable, a drivable distance,
Correct.
8, 12 hours.
That it can work out for you guys
Right.
to get there. That's very good. You talked about it being advanced and black belt that's only going to the event that you guys will be going to. By the way, once again, it's going to be in Houston at the end of July, if I'm not mistaken, at the George Brown Convention Center. And it's got to be a thrill for these kids to go through that. Unfortunately, y'all start school right when y'all get back from that. And I know that's never a good thing for you guys. But if I can, I'm going to go down the line. I'm going to ask what your belt is, whether it's advanced or black, but what you'll be fighting as. Because it's my understanding that even if they go as an advanced belt, they can fight black belt, or explain that to us.
The biggest thing is, as their instructor, I can put them in whatever category it is that at or above their belt, whatever I feel comfortable that they can do. When I came up under Master Randy Baudouin and Master Lee, Grandmaster Lee he was originally from Korea. Well, he was tough, and when I started fighting nationals, I was red tip, which is basically blue belt, red tip, then you have red belt, black belt candidate, then black. So I wasn't quite black belt yet. I was probably about a year and a half, 2 years away. And he decided that, because I was big, he said, you're going to fight black belt. And he threw me to the wolves. But looking back, I mean, the learning curve was so shortened because you had to get in there and you had to fight to that ability. It brought you up so much quicker. It made your thinking, your response time, your reaction time, you couldn't. It's nothing. Doing that was nothing that I could learn in a 2-year period.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
I totally
learned
understand.
it in 3 tournaments.
Correct.
So I know what it did for me. So at the same time, when I know that they're well enough to protect themselves, I want to push them. Because if you don't set those high goals, you never truly grasp what the martial arts is supposed to be about.
When you guys go over there, there's a forums competition, a point sparring, an Olympic sparring.
Yes, sir.
Will they be in all 3 of those disciplines? Or will some be in some and some won't be in others?
We do forms, which is Poomsae in Korean, which is basically like a kata.
So that's Alexa, Ricky, and Caden will be doing that.
Absolutely, and
Okay.
Ty and Mr. Gage.
Okay.
And the Olympic sparring. We don't do points style sparring. The main reason for that, and I'm not trying to insult anyone who does it, but because you have that stop when somebody makes a point, it gives you a false sense of security for a self-defense situation. Being Olympic sparring is continuous. When you get that shot, you're automatically looking for that second, third, and fourth.
Correct.
And you're ready to defend yourself.
So
You're
it's
not waiting for the
continuous.
referee to stop.
Do they know the points they're getting as it's going on, or are
They
you...
shouldn't.
Okay. All right.
But they do, because they have a scoreboard, and they actually have kids that get hurt because they'll look at the scoreboard and get hit.
Right,
You
right.
know?
Ricky, I understood. Oh, well, let me start with Caden first, because Caden's one we talked about at the break, that actually you're going to be fighting black in your advance, is that right?
No, sir.
Okay, explain exactly how you'll be fighting.
I'll be fighting red tip division.
Okay, and you are red tip, he is red tip.
Red
now?
belt, yes, sir.
Red belt, very good. So that is where he's quote-unquote supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, now Ricky, how about you? Same thing, where will you be fighting at?
I'll be fighting as a black belt, but I'm normally advanced, but
Very good. Now, we're looking at footage right now, and I'm gonna ask Jason, our producer, is that Caden? That's
Yes,
Caden's
sir.
in, what color are you in?
On the red.
Red. Now, what was this at, Al?
That was at Butler, I believe, in Houston. Yes, sir.
So
That
this
was-
is actually
That was the
qualifying.
qualifiers. Yes, sir.
Qualifying, very good. So this is continuous now, right?
Yes, as you can see, there was no break in between. Even though it was, solid points, there's no break. It continues until either an infraction or foul, if you want to use another term, or an injury, or till the time runs out.
Very good. And Alexa, what will you be fighting at?
advanced belt, sir.
Advanced
Red
belt. Very good, very good. We're gonna look at more footage as we do this and go along. Does weight have anything to do with it?
Yes, sir. Weight,
So you could
age,
be
and
a
belt.
certain age level, but maybe you're still gonna compete your weight class within that age level.
Yes, sir.
They don't make you jump to a higher age level because you're a bigger kid. Or could that happen?
It happens.
Really?
At the regional qualifiers, what they ended up doing for Mr. Ty's division, he was 15 at the time, and they came to me and they said, there's nobody his weight, because Ty's one of those kids that, like I said, hit a growth spurt. So Ty weighs over 200 pounds, about 215 by now. And there was no kids at 15 that were that weight, so they weren't going to put them basically feed
And
them
it
to the wolves.
challenges Ty.
Right.
Right.
So what they did with Ty was they came to me and they asked me if it'd be all right if he fought men's heavyweight division, which was 19, 20, all the way up to 32 years of age. So I said, yeah, why not? And he ended up placing third, so I guess he
Very
did
good.
pretty good.
Very good. We got to take a commercial break. We're going to come back and talk to you guys some more. Going to ask the kids a little bit about their goals, what they hope to accomplish when they go up there individually. Very interesting stuff. We're going to talk to these guys some more when we get back from this break.